Hey, what's going on? I'm Matt O'Leary back with another video, and today we'll be talking about the Jets Day 2 in the NFL Draft. Before we get started, I just wanted to mention that you can follow me on social media at Matt O'Leary NY on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that fun stuff. Also, if you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe to the podcast. You can call in, ask your questions as well. The new episode is going to drop on Monday, so ask your draft questions. So, after round one, the New York Jets were sitting with their new franchise left tackle in Mekhi Becton. They definitely needed some work, and they were sitting with 3 picks, 48 being the first one. And Denzel Mims, who we talked about last night on the stream, we thought he was going to go in the first round. He was on the board to start in the second round, and I thought, there's no way he's going to make it to 48. So I wasn't really thinking about him. But he started to fall, and he fell some more, and he fell some more, and then the Jets were on the clock. And then the Jets decided to trade with Denzel Mims still on the board. They traded with Seattle. They traded 48 for 59 and 101. So they moved back 11 spots and picked up another third round pick. Okay, there were some players that I liked on the board, but I understand why Joe Douglas wanted to move back. Fine, I'm a little upset because I really wanted Denzel Mims. Second round continues. Mims is on the board at 59, and the New York Jets pull the trigger, and I was ecstatic. He's 6'3" with 4.3 speed. Do you know how rare that is? This is someone who I thought could have been the 5th, maybe 6th best wide receiver in the draft class, and it's a very deep one. Someone who probably should have went in the 20s fell to 59. He has above average speed for his size. He led all of college football with contested catches. He's someone who can go up and get the ball, and I expect him to start from day one. He is going to be an outside starting receiver across from Perryman. I mean, I was a little bit nervous when Pittman went off the board and when T. Higgins went off the board 1-2, but it ended up working out. Joe Douglas not only moved back and picked up an extra third round pick, he got the guy that everybody wanted as day 2 started, which was Denzel Mims. So great job to start the day if you're Joe Douglas. Pick 68, we're in the third round, and there's some edge rushers on the board that I thought were worthwhile of this pick. But the Jets go Ashtyn Davis, safety from Cal. Now, when you hear safety, that worries you a little bit, or at least it worried me, because that's not necessarily a position of need, so I didn't necessarily like the pick at first. And while I'm still a little bit skeptical, and I probably like this pick the least, in an interview after he was drafted, he said that he could play strong safety, free safety, corner, nickel corner, or weak side linebacker. He's a very versatile piece, and he's extremely quick. Maybe with that speed, he could be a kick returner. That's definitely something to look into. I think what I like about this is he's versatile, and Greg Williams gets creative defensively, and he's someone who could do a bunch of different things. So while I don't think he was my favorite guy on the board at that time, I could understand a little bit more the logic, especially if you're going to play him at corner a little bit or have 3 safeties on the field. And I think you'd rather a more physical guy, which is exactly what Davis is, than a smaller nickel corner in the packages that Greg Williams is going to run. So maybe I'm walking back my initial response a little bit from when I really did not like this pick at all. I think it's okay. It's not my favorite, but I can understand the logic a little bit behind it. Marcus May is also coming in the final year of his rookie deal. Are you going to be able to pay both May and Adams? I'm not exactly sure. So maybe he becomes a Marcus May replacement. Other than that, he definitely seems like a freak athlete, which is definitely something that Joe Douglas has gone for. Guys with high ceilings and who are athletes. He has a skill set in mind that he is looking for, and he's sticking with it. So now we get to pick 79, and the New York Jets do go edge in Jabari Zuniga, edge rusher from Florida. And I know what you're thinking. Wait, a Florida edge rusher? Ja'Kai Polite was that last year for the New York Jets, and a hand up, I'll admit, I like the pick. He was supposed to be around 1 talent, and he fell to round 3, and the New York Jets ended up cutting him because he was extremely lazy. I don't think this is what Zuniga is going to be. He's 6'3", 264. He only played 6 games last year. He had 3 sacks, but he's a pretty solid piece off the edge. On the pros, he's explosive. He's a raw prospect, but he has room to grow, and I don't think he has to be a starter from day one. He could probably be a rotational piece on the opposite side of Jordan Jenkins. Injuries is a little bit of a concern. His technique is a little bit on the flawed side, but again, this is a really good athlete with a high ceiling. And that is exactly what Joe Douglas did today. He went for guys who might have a little bit of a low floor, but they have a high ceiling. He trusts his scouting department, and he's willing to take risks, and he's willing to move. Because like I said, the Jets traded for pick 101, so I was expecting one more pick in the third round. We all were, And then the New York Jets traded it with the New England Patriots of all people. The Pats move up to grab their second tight end of the draft. The New York Jets move back for 2 fourth-rounders, pick 125 and pick 129. They will pick 120, 125, 129, and they also move back for a 2021 six. So you get 3 picks out of the New England Patriots to move up for a tight end. I think that's a win for sure. Some positions I think the New York Jets should look to attack tomorrow, as they have 6 picks between rounds 4 and round 6. I think you should look for a wide receiver. There's some good wide receivers left on the board. I like Colin Johnson a lot, but there's guys like Peoples-Jones available, and Gandy Golden still on the board too. Wasn't expecting him to still be around at this point. I think it'll be worthwhile to address running back at some point tomorrow. Interior offensive line, Tyler Biadasz is still on the board. There's some other centers and guards who I think are worthwhile developmental picks. They're not someone who has to start from day one, but it's important to add depth. And then maybe I look to add another corner. There are some pretty good corners left on the board. Darnay Holmes I like a lot. Troy Pride I like a lot. If Joe Douglas is able to attack those 4 positions, I think the New York Jets are in phenomenal shape. So far, so good for him. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Let me know what you thought about the draft so far in the comments down below. Follow me. Stick with us. We're streaming tomorrow. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Matt O'Leary, and I'll talk to you next time.